So in this class, I want you to understand the simplification of your exponents. Understand your exponential notation, how to simplify different exponents as we need in our syllabus of mathematics grade 8. We were given on question number 2, calculate each of the following. A, there is a -2 which is being raised like that. -2 to the exponent of 2. What does it mean? Okay, this one, be careful. The simplification, there is a 2 which is being raised to the exponent of a 2. Not a minus, no, not a minus. It is a negative on its own, the 2 on its own. So this is the reason why we are having this part of a -2 to the exponent of 2 inside of this bracket. So this one, it means that there is a negative which is going to multiply a 2 to the exponent of a 2. Where is this negative? The negative is just there. Remember, a negative just like -1. So it's just like -1 times 2 to the exponent of a 2, which is a 4. Remember, 2 to the exponent of 2, that's 2 times 2, which is a 4. So this will be a -4 if we multiply. So they want you on number 3 to use a calculator to verify these these part that we see, different or the same as those of the calculator. So this one, be careful how you present this. This is how we have it. -2. This is what I want you to see on your calculator, just like this. This is what you're going to have. -2, there's no bracket there. So you just put minus like this. This is 2 to the exponent of a 2. So this will be a -4. But when it is given as a bracket, if you open a bracket like this, put in a bracket, that's -2 to the exponent of 2 like this will give us a +4. So if we are given a bracket like this is a B, where we are given this condition of a -2 to the exponent of a 2. What does it mean? It means we are multiplying a -2 times a -2. So in that case, negative times negative, it will be a positive. 2 times 2, which is a 4. So this is simply a 4. That is how we're going to have this part. So when you're given this, you're supposed to be careful. A bracket raised to the exponent of a 2. That bracket is multiplying itself. Even if you're given -5 to the exponent of 3, it simply means -5 is going to multiply itself 3 times. So that is going to be like this. Remember, to the exponent of 3 means that number is multiplying itself 3 times. So with this, you can multiply this negative and the negative. That will be a positive. So if you multiply this negative, it's a +25 times a -5. Now we've got a positive to a negative, so that will be negative. And if you multiply a 25 to a 5, that will be 125. So it's -125. So you're supposed to be very, very careful. So I want you to use your calculator, verify this. So this is also what you're given, what it is like. The calculator understands -2 squared, -5 squared, and minus 2 different numbers. It understands. They're actually different numbers that you're considering there. They are actually different numbers. So that's why we have to use the bracket. That's why we have to use the bracket, so that these two are different. All right. Write the following in exponential form. I talked about this part of writing these in exponential form. All right. -2 times -2 times. It means this is simply multiplying itself. How many times? 3 times. That's 1, 2, 3. So what is multiplying itself? It is the -2 that is multiplying itself 3 times. So to the exponent of a 3. It is the -2 that is multiplying itself how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is multiplying itself 4 times. So it simply means -2 is going to be raised to the exponent of 4. So the exponent is the number of times, and that number is multiplying itself. If you are given E that is -1, -1, -1, is the same. So this is the same as -1 to the exponent of what? 1, 2, 3, 4, to the exponent of a 4. So this is how you're going to simplify this to write in exponential form. So I want you to answer these questions. And when you're asked to calculate the following, we are back to that same concept. we are back to the same concept. If minus 3 is being raised to the exponent of 2, it means that we have got minus 3, which is multiplying itself. So that's the condition. So that's a negative to a negative, which is going to be a positive. 3 times 3, which is a 9. So also consider this part. If you are given this condition of a negative, all right? If you have got a negative, I'm going to write in short like this, a negative. When a negative is raised to an odd number, those numbers that you divide by 2, you have a remainder of 1. 1, 3, 5, 7. If you divide by 2, you get a remainder of 1. Divided by 2, you get a remainder of 1. On these numbers, it will remain as a negative. But when a negative is raised to an even exponent, an even power, 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on, these are even exponents, this will be a positive. So meaning to say, whenever we are seeing this consideration, we are going to say, okay, this is going to be a positive at the end. So I want you to try as many questions as you can. So if it is an odd number like this, it means our answer automatically is going to be a negative. Then 2 is being raised with exponent of 5. That is 2 times 2 times. It's going to be a 32 at the end, but having a negative. All right? That is what you're going to have there. So number 6, they do not want you to simplify. So I want you to simplify this. Where there's a challenge, let me know so that we can have that question on a separate class. On number 6, state whether the sign of the answer is negative or positive. Explain why. So there they want you to use this concept. Remember I said if a negative is raised to an odd number, it will be a negative. So the question is not calculate, no. You just need to state, just give to say, is it going to be positive or not? So this is negative raised to the exponent of 6. 6 is what? 6 is an even number. So if it is raised to an even number, it is going to be a positive. So the sign here is going to be a positive. The reason is it is raised to an even exponent. This one, it is raised to an odd exponent. So it is going to remain as a negative. It is raised to an even number, so it is going to be a positive. It is raised to an odd number. 5 is an odd number, so it means the negative is going to remain as a negative. All right? Say whether the following statements are true or false. If the statement is false, rewrite it as a correct statement. So if it is false, rewrite as a correct statement. Minus 3 squared is minus 9. All right, this is wrong. Minus 3 squared is supposed to give us a positive because it is raised to an even exponent. So it must be a positive 9, not a negative. Okay. B, minus 3 squared is a positive 9. No, this is wrong. This is supposed to be a negative 9 because it is the 3 which is raised to an exponent of 2. So the 3 squared is 9. So it's going to be minus 9, not a negative 9. All right. Minus 5 squared like this. All right. This is inside of a bracket. So this is actually the same as minus 5 because there is an exponent of 1. So 2 times 1 is going to be minus 5 squared. This is correct. Minus 1 to the exponent of 3 is same as minus 1 to the exponent of 3. This is also correct. A negative to an odd, it remains as a negative. 1 to the exponent of 3. So this is actually correct. All right. If we consider what we have on E, this is negative 3 to negative 6 to the exponent of a 3. Yes, it's true that it must be a negative, but this one is wrong. It can't be 18 because it's supposed to be minus 6 like this. To the exponent of a 3, it means negative to an odd, it's going to remain as a negative. Then 6 to the exponent of a 3. 6 to the exponent of a 3 is not 18. It means 6 times 6 times a 6. That is not 18. If you are to simplify this, it must give you something like 216. If you have to do this on your calculator, this will be minus 216, not minus 18. Minus 2 to the exponent of 6 is same as 2 to the exponent of a 6. Yes, this is correct. A negative raised to an even number, it becomes a positive, and 2 is raised also to the exponent of 6. So this is correct. It is going to be a positive at the end. So these are the typical questions in this syllabus for term 2 as you are working with exponents. So we shall have more questions of this nature and typical exam questions for mathematics grade 8 as you prepare yourselves for this term.